I'm really good, thank you. Two pro shows in Italy in the last 4 weeks. So I thought it was a really good show. I watched all the divisions, all the 3 pro divisions, even watched some of the amateur yesterday, and yeah, really good show, and interesting results. Some couple of surprises there as well, which I really did not see coming. So yeah, what do you want to go through? Should we go through the winners for the men's physique quickly? Was won by China's Chao Peng. He's going to the Olympia. Bikini was won by Francesca Stoico. So she's I think she might have already been qualified. I'm not sure, but she's going to the Olympia as well. So anyway, let's talk about the Open. Where do you want to start? I agree with it. Yeah, I think there was physiques there with better detail. There was physiques with better shape, like Mark Hector. But I mean, overall, with balance and just overall size, he completely dominated this one. I mean, he completely crushed everyone in terms of size. I mean, he made everyone look small, to be honest. I mean, I didn't think he'd make some of guys like Vlad or Mark, who were very, very thick. I didn't think he'd make them look small, but he absolutely did. So I kind of get why he won this quite clearly. But I think he was up because he skipped France to do this one. And then even a couple of days ago, there was some people were still saying, I see on social media, they were saying, is James doing this? Is he doing it? And then literally I saw a picture of him with his competitor number at the event. So yeah, it's not a shock that he won this, but I'm pleased for him. He's going to do his second Olympia because obviously he did the Olympia last year, took 12th. And obviously he's looking to improve upon that for this year, but at least now it means he's got the qualification out of the way and he doesn't have to keep competing to get there, and it gives some of the other guys another chance. But I think he looked as good, to me he looked every bit as good as he did at the Arnold UK. Things with the Arnold UK, there was no live stream, it was just kind of poor quality footage, if you remember. But I did see a little bit of high quality. Yeah, the lighting was slightly better at the Arnold UK, but to me he looked as good. And I think it was a clear win. And yeah, so on to the Olympia now. He's got 10 weeks to improve upon this for Vegas.
Yes. Well, let's take a look at the footage from Tsunami Pro earlier. Here's Jane's posing routine. Whoops, we got it. We lost it. Let me just bring
there's
that
no
back
sound
up.
from you, Jane.
Can you guys hear me now? Am I coming in clearly now?
Can you hear, guys?
Can you hear me, guys?
I don't think they can hear you, Jen.
Can you hear Giles? Well, let's put James on the screen while I try to figure out the sound issue.
Okay. Well, can they hear me? Guys, can you hear me? Okay.
Hey, chat, can you hear Giles? Can you
hear me?
Sound is
all good now.
Okay, good. All right, so let's put James Hollingshead on the screen right now from earlier. This is his performance at the Tsunami Pro, his posing routine. Amazing song that he posed to. First of all, I think.
Yeah, it was the Viking thing, wasn't it? Yeah,
I liked it.
I like Vlad's the best. The music, that was the cool. No, not Vlad. Milan Sadek had the best music.
The Stranger
Things. And I'll tell when we come to that. When it comes to that, I'll tell you why.
Okay, well, I think I have a little inkling why, but I won't reveal that. We talked about that on WhatsApp privately. But absolutely, look at James. He came here to win, and when he did, his structure was
just in terms of
huge.
In terms of for me, it's his delts and his legs. He just carries so much thickness and size. When he had the microphone at the end, when he was winning his winner's speech, all I could see was just these humongous shoulders. Because I think his delts and his quads are my favorite, because in his real bicep, his front delts are up by his ears. Absolutely. And the sweep on his legs is incredible. I remember when James was back competing as a junior back in 2011. He won the Junior British Championships. I'm sure he won it twice. I think it was over 2009 and 2011. I think it was. And I remember he hit the ground running when he turned pro. He won the British finals in 2017, and it made an instant impact. He was making top 5 in pro shows. He's won the British Grand Prix in 2020.
Yes.
He won the NPC European in 2020 in Spain.
Yes.
Didn't compete until the Olympia when he took 12th place.
Yeah.
And so he's got the last few shows he's had first, 12th at Olympia, third at the Arnold UK, and first place here. So he's he must be relieved getting the qualification out the way. But looked absolutely fantastic.
Totally.
Like I say, he's so dense, isn't he, Jen?
Absolutely. Dense, muscular, really big muscle bellies, just got separation everywhere. I love his quads. He had the complete package. His back was just bigger than life. Like you said, his delts were up to his ears. He was just absolutely the champion of the show in every sense of the word.
I disagree with you on the separation. I think he lacks separation. I think that's the one thing, that's the one weakness he does have, is separation in the one of the competitors is messaging me. He lacks a bit of separation in the chest and the shoulders, but I think he basically makes up for it in how big and how full and dense he is. So like I said, I've got no arguments with him winning this at all, because he just dominated everyone just with pure size and thickness.
Well, speaking of the rest of the competition, let's take a look at the first call out from the pre-judging. On the screen here, we've got the first call out, which consisted, of course, of James Hollingshead, Mark Hector, Vlad, I can't say his name.
Chiriac. His name is actually Alfred Chiriac, but because I had him, we tried to get him on Global yesterday, and we had a bit of connection, so we're gonna have to try and interview him tomorrow when he's got better Wi-Fi. But he comes on as Vlad. He comes on as Vlad Chiriac, but his name is actually Alfred Chiriac. So I'll have to ask him what's the deal with his name.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. We'll have to find out until Global Wednesday, 9:15 Eastern Time. So join us then for that one. We'll join Giles for that one.
And I got one of the main interviews from Legion as well.
Oh, really? Well, let's keep that one a secret until Legion.
I will. Okay. Now for me, I'll be brutally honest here with what I say. Vlad for me was Vlad and Enrico Hoffman were the two biggest surprises. I kind of saw Vlad coming, because like I said, I tried to get him on Global because I thought he looked fantastic at the Arnold UK when he took 7th. Enrico Hoffman, I saw this guy on Instagram and he wasn't on my radar. I did not see this guy coming in and making an impact like he did. I mean, honestly, from the back, I would love to see James Hollingshead with Enrico Hoffman's separation and detail. Yes. I think if James could actually get that, if you could put that Enrico's detail on James's body, I think James would be top 5 Olympia all day. But Enrico Hoffman, in terms of condition and density, he kind of, I've written down here, I said he's like a European Branch Warren.
There you go.
I think he's just that really kind of grainy, detailed, vascular kind of thick size. I thought his posing was great. As you know, I like posing. Posing, condition are the two things I like.
Yes.
And I was really, really impressed with him. Mark, I was disappointed by. I thought, I think even though he got 2nd in France, I think doing 3 shows on the trot, I think was a mistake. Absolutely. I think he could have benefited from, even though he lost France by 1 point to Patrick Johnson, I think he could have benefited from skipping France and just prepping for this one. But then he would have still have to go up against James Hollingshead. But for me, he looked flat today. He didn't improve as the judging went on, like he did in France. Because you remember from France, he came out very, very strong. Very, very, very kind of poor and watery, and then he kind of hardened up in the space of 30 minutes. It's incredible. I've never seen that before.
I know. We went from, I don't think he's even going to qualify the top 5 to, oh my God, he could win this, like you said on the preview.
Yeah. And, exactly. So,
but in this show, that was not the case at all. Mark Hector came in 3rd. He looked like he deserved 3rd. I think you and I, when we were talking on the side on WhatsApp before, we were even saying possibly 4th. I think Enrico could have taken him and I wouldn't have argued. Yes, totally.
I mean, Mark kind of looked, side chest, as you can see there right now, he looks fantastic. But for me, he's got to get harder. And I think he seems to be crashing down in weight. And for me, he didn't look any harder this week. I think he just looked flatter. He actually looked no sharper than he did in France. And I think maybe I'd love to see him do Prague.
Yes.
I'd love to see him, if that's 3 weeks away. I'll be there doing live stream.
Yes, I know.
Commentary. So I wouldn't mind seeing him going up against Krizo, but I really want to see, before the season ends, I want to see Mark Hector perfectly peaked, because this shape and structure is out of this world. But for me, he's not. Like I said, I'm big on condition, as I kind of keep going on about. And for me, he's not bringing the condition, and he's probably the most gifted athlete up there in that top 4.
I agree with you. I agree with you. You know, I think it's just the fact, like you said, he's done 3 shows in a row in the last month, and that's got to have played a part on the stress of his body. His muscles are tired. It's a lot to, that's a lot to put your body through in 3 weeks' time.
I think Mark either needs to shut it down now, or he needs to go and do like a show like Prague or even Romania, because Romania is still a qualifier for the 5-6 weeks away. It's still a qualifier for this year's Olympia. So, because I'd love to see Mark in this year's Olympia, because he's put on so much size since 2020. I think it's almost a little bit too much, and I think a lot of it was. I want to see him rock hard, and I want to see him, because that's otherwise he's not going to win a show. He's not going to win a show unless he gets that condition.
By the way, shout out to somebody in the chat who is a VIP right now. We have Mr. Rod Harris, MD online editor, and he says to you, Giles, the condition snob.
Yep. I'm a complete self-confessed conditioning snob. I love condition. Okay, let's answer some of the questions anyway. Raymond Jones, is Giles still hopefully that Mark will qualify for the O this year? I hope so. Like I said, I'd love to see him do Prague or Romania. But like I said, he's done 3 shows over 3 weeks now?
Yes.
Is it 2 or 3 or 4 weeks?
Yes.
I think it's been too much for him. He looked tired. He looked flat today.
Absolutely.
And he did not look any harder than France. So maybe he needs to take a little bit of step back and really sharpen up, because he just, even his front lat spread, his chest looked like it was kind of withering away, So, and because he looked full and bursting at the Arnold UK.
Oh yeah.
But, he looks flat. So I'm still hopeful that he could get a qualification for the Olympia this year.
Yes.
So.
Well, this is where Legion, like I said before, can really make a difference. Later on, we're going to have the prejudging of the Legion Sports Fest, and whoever wins this show, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they're going to be awarded more points than they would usually. Now, a good point that was brought up, I'm going to give credit to one of our MD subscribers, Joseph T, he goes by. He said that if Justin Rodriguez was to win Legion today.
Highly likely.
Yes, very likely. But Jamie, watch out. Watch out. But that's a conversation for the next stream. But let's just put this into perspective real quick. If Justin wins Legion today, everyone's going to move up in the point standings.
Yeah.
Okay. So depending what happens today and how it all plays out, Mark might get more points.
Oh, I think Mark
can move up very easily.
No, I think Mark's going to start. I haven't checked the points, but I think even with his 2nd and 5th, I think it's still not enough. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm guessing it's still not enough.
Now it's a long.
Hang on, he got a 5th, a 2nd, and a 3rd. That's 3 shows.
Right.
So if Justin wins, that takes him out of the top 3 point standings.
Right.
I'll have to go and check. I don't want to say yes and then somebody, correct me. But I'd be very surprised. I mean, Mark could potentially get thrown points, but he'd have to do probably another one. He'd probably have to do Prague, Romania. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe by the time he got to Romania, I think he'd be absolutely exhausted. And I don't know whether that's going to be good for him to make a Olympia debut.
Right.
Absolutely worn out. So I don't know. I don't know what Mark needs to do right now. I'd like to see him take a step back and maybe just go and do Romania, because Prague though. I mean, he could.
2 weeks from now.
It's 3, isn't it?
2 at this time.
Oh, 2. Okay. 2, yes. No, I think 2. I don't know. Maybe you should.
There's too many damn shows this month.
Yeah, but with Prague though, he's it's the lineup. I mean, there's only really Krizo I know of, and probably get guys like Enam jumping in, and maybe Vlad. So he's gonna have to go up against those guys again. I just want him to see him do a show that will actually make sure that he brings good condition. Because otherwise, I think if he can't bring the condition this year, he needs to shut it down and get ready for next year.
Yes, I agree with you in that. If it's not there, he might be better off just waiting to next year. Yeah. But again, we shall see. We've got how many more shows? 5 left
It's
after
5,
this
yeah,
one?
yeah. I know. There's just so many shows. It's been mostly over this side of over the pond as well.
Yes.
Mark, hang on. Mark needs a denser lower back, in my opinion. Yeah, he does. I mean, he's very delt dominant in his raidable bicep, which I think.
Let's take a look at Mark Hector.
Okay, yeah, bring up Mark Hector.
All right, here comes Mark Hector. Let me just bring down the volume because it's going to be lasting. Where is Mark Hector? There it is. Okay. Okay, technical difficulties.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Mark.
Okay.
I can't decide whether he was better at France or not, but he wasn't. He didn't look at. I was expecting him to be a lot more improved, but then again, 3 shows in like 3 weeks. You know, it's hard to kind of get better for each one.
We're having a little difficulty with the feed for Mark Hector. It's just going to be a little bit.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is just we have somebody in the chat asking about Michael Krizo from earlier.
Yeah, Michael Krizo won the overall amateur as expected. I mean, I don't think anyone was betting against that win happening. He looked really, really good. I haven't seen any back shots yet. But his pro debut is going to be in Prague in 2-3 weeks time. I better know because my flights are booked.
Well, it just so happens we have footage of Michael Krizo, courtesy of AJ's World of Bodybuilding, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on the screen now.
Cool. Yeah, Krizo. He looked good, looked really good. I've only seen a couple of kind of low quality sort of video shots really, but yeah, it was no surprise. I mean, he kind of, you know, I mean, there was an argument for him being able to. I like the fact that he did this the right way. He went and got his pro card. He didn't just try and, you know, they didn't just try and apply for his pro card. He had to go through the NPC Pro League system, and I respect him for doing that. And I like the fact that he didn't do the show today as well, the pro show. I think it's going to, because his sponsors, the EVLS, they're obviously the promoters of the Prague show. Yes. So they want him to get his qualification. I mean, I'm guessing they want him to make his pro debut and hopefully get his Olympia qualification there. So I see what they've done there. It's quite clever, really.
Yeah, so it was a very smart move not to do Italy today. I mean, if they allowed him to, would he have jumped in? I don't know. But I think it's better that we wait for him to make his pro debut in Prague.
Yeah. No, I get. I mean, obviously, a lot of people would have liked to have seen him do this pro show today. But I mean, he looks like a couple of weeks away from being really, really, really sort of ready to kind of enter a pro show, because he's not 100% conditioned there, and he looks like he needs a couple more weeks to kind of, you know, he's probably just come in as he was, I'm guessing, purely, you know, but he's not pin sharp here, so.
Yes.
But, his arms are ridiculous. I mean, they're just colossal. His legs are fantastic. Chest and back, I think he needs to make more improvements there. But he's 31 years old, so you know this guy is. Let's have a look at the back. I've never seen his back shots yet.
Well,
have a look.
It's coming up on the screen in about a minute. You should be able to see it.
His back looks good. Radial bicep looks good. I'm quite impressed. Yeah. Let's have a look at the lat spread.
Okay, should be.
Because these guys with big shoulders and arms, they tend to be more dominant in the shoulders and arms than the chest and the back.
All right, here's his posing routine from the pre-judging.
Yeah, it looks good. He'll be a great pro. He'll be a great pro over the next couple of years. I think he's going to really flourish. So if James comes looking like this to Olympia, he will place dead last. Oh, I don't know about that. You know, no.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think when like he said, I think James lacks lower lats. He lacks kind of separation in the abdominals when he lifts, when he does his front poses. He lacks separation in the chest and shoulders, but he overcompensates for that by how thick and how round he is, and that really is highlighted when he stands next to the other guys. I mean, he wouldn't look small. James wouldn't look small next to Rami. I mean, he just completely crushed everyone in terms of how much space he took up today.
And also, I just want to give another shout out to somebody in our chat, another VIP. We have the amazing Big Mike Cox hanging out with us right now.
This is where all the cool kids hang out, yes.
And he will be joining us for the second half when we do the Legion Sports Fest coverage.
Oh, cool. Also, Stevie McNeckbeard. Yes, he is 31, apparently. Yeah, so he's 31 years old. So this guy is just barely getting started. I think it was just the right time because he's been winning everything at the other side of the IFBB for 5 years. He's been winning everything. There was no competition for him, really. Jen, can you bring up some other footage of maybe one of the competitors? Maybe let's have a look at Vlad.
Yes, I can do that. It'll just be a minute.
Thank you. And I'm really disappointed about Mohammed Enam because when he came out, his quads looked drier than they did than when he competed at Italy a few weeks ago. But he's still not bringing the condition. He actually sent me a few photos the other day, and I didn't actually respond because to me he looked soft, and I didn't know what to say to him.
That's a hard situation to be in.
Yeah, I just didn't know what to say to him because to me he didn't look any better than he did in Italy a few weeks ago, and I kind of didn't want to crush him, you know.
I totally understand, but at the same time, you need to be objective because that is what you do.
Oh, I think Mario Giresi is a little bit biased.
Hello, honey.
Is he a relative of yours, Jen Giresi?
That's Marty.
Yeah, there you go. Why do you call him Marty, not Mario?
Oh, that's a long story.
Okay.
Whoops. Something's playing in the background. Oh, that's Mark. Okay.
I mean, obviously, James's fans are going to be very, very happy he got the win there. So, but it was no surprise. I mean, it's I'm just happy he did turn up and do it because I was a bit of people were maybe wondering if he was doing it this week. I think his name wasn't on the list. I think it was, and then it was put on at the last minute. But I think he had every intention of doing this show all along. So I'm glad for him. He's got the win, and like I said, he can shut it down now till Olympia. And it's a good 10 weeks for the Olympia now. It means he can really kind of focus on bringing his absolute best for the Olympia. Because I think he was very disappointed with his 12th place last year. So he's obviously going to be looking to improve on that for this year.
Absolutely agree. But I'll tell you, there were a couple of surprises in the show too. I mean, we were talking about Vlad for one,
incredible,
and Enrico Hoffman.
Incredible.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I think I kind of expected Vlad to do well because I think he looked sensational at the Arnold Classic. He took 7th there. So I was kind of looking for him to be like a top 3 guy. But Enrico Hoffman, I did not see this guy coming.
No.
He could still use with a bit more sweep on his legs. But I mean, in terms of his detail and his density, I mean, he was thick, but he was really detailed as well. I thought he had his back shots were absolutely sensational. Rear relaxed, middle bicep, rear lat spread. I mean, he's a real thick, chunky guy, and there's a guy to keep an eye on for future.
Absolutely. In fact, I believe, I think I do have Enrico Hoffman here. Let me just pull this one up.
Thanks, Jen. Let's have a look at him. Yeah, he was great posing, and they're probably the best posing routine as well. Is they only at the top 5 pose, if you noticed?
Yeah, I know.
So no, Mohammed Enam didn't get to pose. I thought Mohammed might have made 5th or 6th, but I was surprised Milan Sadek sneaked in there, to be honest, because we can talk about him as well, because in a couple of minutes.
Okay, you should be seeing him on the screen in about a minute.
Show me.
This is Enrico Hoffman coming on the stage.
Yeah, like I said, I love seeing surprises like this because I did not see this guy coming.
Me neither. I was on the phone with Ron, and I was like, "Oh my God, you got to see this guy on the stage."
He could have been 3rd. I wouldn't have argued if he'd have beat Mark. I mean, just purely on his conditioning and his density and his detail and his kind of. I mean, he's really, really good. Really good.
Absolutely agree.
We're going to zoom in on him because I come very, very small on the screen.
Yeah, let me just see if I can do that.
Let's have a look.
All right, there we go. Let me pull this in a little bit.
Let's have a look. He's thick. It's like I said, he needs a bit more going on his quads from the front.
All right, Giles. This should be better now.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. Yeah, he is huge. Yeah, he kind of. Yeah, similar kind of physique to James Hollingshead, but just smaller, but more detailed. You know, like I said, yes, yeah, look at that. He's awesome, this guy. Yeah, I'll have to find out more. Look at that back shot. Look at that. I mean, he's one guy that I think I'll have to sort of do a bit of investigating on because I think find out his age and where he's at in terms of his career because I think he has potential to go to next level, kind of like Vlad did in this show. Yeah, look at that. Probably the best condition up there, I think, with Vlad.
Incredible legs.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I thought Vlad and Enrico had the best condition, 1 and 2. Then James, then obviously Mark, and then Milan Sadek. But James just purely won on just on sheer size. I mean, he's enormous.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he's huge. Can you bring up Vlad, please, Jen?
Yes,
bring Vlad up?
I will try to do that.
Thank you. Mike Cox, thick. Yeah, very. Very.
All right, that's coming up in just a minute.
Cool. Yeah.
But you know, it just goes to show. I mean, total surprises in these shows sometimes. They can just come out of nowhere and wow, who's this guy? You know.
It adds a lot of excitement. Like I said, I wouldn't have argued if Enrico had beaten Mark, and I'm a big Mark fan. You know. Can you bring Vlad up, please, Jen?
I'm working on it, buddy.
Okay.
Patience, my friend. Patience.
So, Giuseppe's out with the scorecard. The scorecard won't probably be out till tomorrow morning. So I'll do a review on Hot News in Global Muscle.
Yeah, I'd love to see your analysis of that, breaking down the scorecards.
Oh, she's muted. Ricky Murray saying you're muted.
I'm muted? Okay.
I can't hear her.
All right.
Can't hear her. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you.
All right. We'll check that out. Thank you, Ricky.
Yeah. Wow. And Enrico Hoffman was 1 year ago totally out of shape. It was a crazy transformation for sure. Well, that's even more impressive then. If he was completely out of shape a year ago, he's done wonders there, because like I said, he made a real impact in this show. I now know who he is, and I'm going to remember who he is.
All right. There's Vlad.
Okay. Ciao. Hello, Ricky.
Ciao, bene.
I can hear. Okay. Winter Kale can hear now. Some of these guys got these amazing names.
Well, you know what's funny? My mic wasn't muted according to my panel, so I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, here we go with Vlad. This guy's posting routine.
Awesome. Let's have a look.
I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger so we can see him a little more.
Let's have a look. Yeah, he looked great. I mean, jumping up from 7th at the Arnold to 2nd here. Beating Mark Hector, who beat him at the Arnold, because Mark Hector was 5th at the Arnold. Vlad was 7th. So he's now jumped up ahead of Mark. So that's a really, really good, solid placing. I'm assuming I'll see him in Romania because he's from Romania. So myself and Lauren will be doing live stream commentary again this year in Romania as well.
Yes.
So, yes. Jake and Alina flying us over, so I'm really excited about that as well. Because that's such a great show, that one. It's amazing.
You're going to be very busy this fall.
Yeah, no, well, I guess I've lost my whole summer, haven't I? So I haven't been out much, you know?
Exactly. You got to make up for it.
Yeah, so I'm buzzing. I've got loads to look forward to. I'm off to Hungary next weekend.
I know, I saw it. What show will you be in Hungary?
It's the Hungary Fit Parade. It's the NPC Amateur. It's the amateur big national. So I'm doing live stream over there. I'm going over by myself, so I'm really looking forward to that on Friday.
Nice.
Right, so look at Vlad.
All right, Vlad.
Yeah,
Vlad's coming up now.
James in his speech, James Hollingshead in his speech said he was 212 before, and I remember he competed that's right, he was 212, and then he went to Open, and he was kind of not really getting that great placings. He's now prepped by Patrick Tour, and they've done wonders. And I was seeing all the updates from Patrick Tour on his Instagram and Vlad, and you could see that the magic was happening.
Absolutely.
He just taking everything to another level. Still, I'd love to still see a little bit more quad sweep on him. I think that would really benefit him. But his upper body is absolutely phenomenal. So
absolutely,
I think he's going to be he's definitely a guy to keep an eye out on this one.
Absolutely. He's got a
Dean
lot of potential to come second in the show.
Dean Thomas, did the shed win? Yes, he did. You are very late to the party. So, will James Hollingshead get into the top 10 Olympia? I don't see any reason why not. Because, this year's Olympia is going to be very, very stacked. So if he does make top 10, that's going to be a seriously big achievement because, you know, I mean, I could reel off 15 names that potentially could be in the top 10 and if they show up in shape. So it's going to be interesting, but he's going to have to bring his best if he wants to make top 10.
Totally agree.
You know, Mike Cox saying Brett Wilkin is doing Romania. Yes, I believe he is. Yes. Yeah, I believe he is. So it'll be interesting to see Brett there as well.
Yes, we have.
So I'm assuming he's still making a run for the Olympia this year then.
Yes, possibly.
Yep. So that'll be interesting.
How do you think he'll do in Romania overall, if you were to guess?
Oh, Brett.
Yes.
Brett Wilkin. He just needs to bring condition, doesn't he? Because he's.
I think so.
He was kind of the one that we all thought was going to win the Arnold back in March, and then he kind of. I mean, he still got 5th. I mean, bloody hell, that's incredible. But he didn't really bring the condition I think we all expected. So I bet he's really, really gunning hard for condition at Romania this year. But it'd be cool to see Brett in the Olympia as well, actually.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I wonder what he could bring to that stage.
Enrico Hoffman first. No, I wouldn't say first, but I'd have had no arguments if he'd have took 3rd. Like I said, I'd have had no arguments if Mark Hector had been 4th and Enrico had been 3rd.
Yes.
But because he said he needs to make a few improvements to his legs. But I mean, he was a solid 4th here, and it was like I said. But I wouldn't have argued if he had been 3rd.
Yes, absolutely agree. All right, so
Mike,
I want to bring up Milan Sadek.
Oh, cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I want to talk about him.
All right, just 1 second.
Yeah.
Bring that down.
Look at Milan. Milan he got 5th place here today, made top 5. He beat Mohammed Enam, which I was surprised by because I thought Mohammed was just so much bigger.
I'm surprised he didn't make that top 5 at all. You know, he
had potential,
but you know, there was he was also a little flat in some areas, and he looked even a little depleted somewhere. But again,
Sorry, who?
Mohammed Enam.
Yeah. No, he just not. His quads were hard, but everything else was soft, lacking detail.
Exactly.
So I don't know what Milos is doing with him, but he's not bringing him in as good as he needs to bring him in. But yeah, I'd love to see Mohammed get a win, maybe. But the thing is we're running out of shows now because we've got guys like Krizo and Mark Hector and Brett Wilkin and all these. You know, there's Vlad and guys like that are going to be trying to improve now to get those last qualifications in right before the Olympia, because Romania I think is the last qualifying. That's only 3 weeks from the Olympia.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's so everyone who's not qualified and's got their qualification for the Olympia is going to be going for that one. So it's going to be a stacked show, that one.
Yes.
But Milan Sadek, this is the guy who made top 5 at the 2017 Olympia in 212. He struggled to make 212 then, but to me, he's not that much bigger. I've not seen the improvements I was expecting from Milan in the last 3 years. So having said that, I'd be interested to see the option of him going back to 212 or even maybe going to classic, because
yes,
I think he reminds me of a Roman Fritz, where he's kind of bringing the same package every year and doing okay, like 5th, 6th, but not really making big enough improvements to really make an impact as an open. So he needs to think tactically. He needs to either suck it down to classic or suffer and get back down to 212. Because when you've been top 5 in the Olympia in the 212, I think maybe that is where you're destined, especially because in 5 years, he hasn't really put that much size on. I'm guessing he's maybe 220, 225 here. I'd be surprised if he's any heavier than that, Jen, because he doesn't look any bigger. I remember when he won the Charlotte Pro in 2017, he beat Craig Richardson, he beat Nicholas Vuliud, you know, and he was a fantastic 212. He's got beautiful balance. What's that, Jen?
No, it's okay. I was just telling Max. I don't know if you can hear
cat. The dog. Okay.
The dog is playing with his toy on the floor. Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about William Martins. I don't think you got the footage of him, but
let me check that out.
Okay. Yeah. But Milan, honestly, I stand by what I say. If he can't, like Roman Fritz, if he's not going to come back bigger and improved each year, then he needs to start thinking about switching back to 212 or even switching to classic if he doesn't have to lose too much to get down to it, because he's kind of perfect as he is in terms of, you know, if he's at the top of his weight cap for either of those categories.
We got him in the second call out of the prejudging. I'm going to put that on the screen right now.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to be disappointed with that because I think William Martins was kind of coming here for the win, I think. He was in very, very good condition. He was a little bit flat at the Arnold Brazil earlier in the year, but for me, for this contest, he was definitely, he was better, but he really needs to bring that back up. The back needs to come up because his lats are quite high and it makes him look very long-waisted in the front shots. And the rear shots, he's got a lovely kind of wide clavicles, narrow waist. but he's got to bring his back up, because from the front and the side, like side chest is incredible. He's got one of the best side chests out there, even though he was crunching down too much. But yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking to see if that's the footage. I'm gonna bring that in a little bit more.
Oh, is this the final call out? Because
this might be the final, yeah.
Yeah, but they did the same group of guys in the first call out and the final call out. If you notice in France, they brought 2 guys out, the top 2. I was expecting them to bring out the top 2 in the final call out.
All right.
Come on, guys, move in. Yeah. Look at Mark's midsection when he lifts his arms up. He looks really flat and watery here. I'm really disappointed with what he's brought here, actually. I was expecting him to be a few percent better, but I think he's a few percent worse.
All right, let me see if I can find that footage of Williams Martins. That's just going to be a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, Enrico, very, very good. See, Mark's the shape guy, but he's not bringing the condition. And I'm like I said, I want to see condition from him, because he's got such a beautifully aesthetic physique, and he's great, crazy shape, but he's not bringing the condition. This is not pro level conditioning, you know. And this is a guy that only lost the France Pro by 1 point. Patrick Johnson was 4 points. Mark Hector was 5 points. So he's, you know, even not even in top condition, this guy is getting good placings. He's had 3rd place here. So imagine what happens when he gets totally shredded, dry, and full.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he needs to be a little bit less zealous with his competing every single week, and actually maybe do what James Hollingshead did and skip 1 or 2, and just go and get ready for like Romania or something, you know.
He may need to do that, yeah.
Because this every week competing, it's not working. He's going backwards.
Yes. Okay, here we go. I've got the footage. I'm just going to load that up. We just had a little technical glitch happen sometimes, guys. You can say it with me, members. Live TV, you gotta love it.
Mike Cox is right. Mark had all the tools to kick ass. That's absolutely right. I mean, I think if he'd have been shredded, I think it'd have been really interesting to see him and James Hollingshead go at it. I think it would have been down to those two, because you've kind of got, it's almost like comparing like Dorian Yates to Flex Wheeler. Having those, like you've got a Mark Hector like Flex Wheeler, you got a James Hollingshead like a Dorian, and it's just purely size versus kind of the more classic shape guys, you know. But it would have been interesting to see those different styles of physiques going at it.
All right, on the screen right now, you should be able to see the second call out from the prejudging, including William Martins. And
Jan Tarek on the right from the Czech on the far right. I thought his fat back shots were absolutely amazing. He's got a really nice balance, really good symmetry, but he needs more size. From the front, he looked he almost looked like a classic guy from the front. So this is a guy that really needs to have a good off season and put some size on.
Yes.
Because otherwise he's not going to be making an impact as an open.
Yes, he has a beautiful back, but you're right. The front needs work.
Yeah, real biceps great, but you can't be a successful pro just on one good shot,
no.
You know?
No.
Yeah.
I just have to boot somebody out of chat. Boom. Get out. You're
no spam, please.
No,
we're British.
That's it. You're out of here, buddy. Take a hike. Bye-bye.
Yeah, William Martins, like I said, he just needs to bring the back up. He brings great condition. He's got great density, great lines. His side shots are absolutely fantastic. But until he brings that back up, it's going to hurt his frontal bicep and it's going to hurt his rear shots. William Martins has the potential to be, because I think I put him in my column in MD, and I said he's got the potential to be like another Dennis Wolf, but he's got a very similar side structure. But he probably got like 7th, 8th in this, and this is like a kind of that's not good for him, you know, because I'm sure he wants to come here and win shows like this, especially if he's come all that way from Brazil.
Absolutely.
Where's the boogeyman? He's back in Florida.
Why would the boogeyman be in this show? Come on.
Yeah, he's getting ready for the Olympia because he qualified. He's won the Indy and the New York Pro. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Should we start abusing all the members watching now?
We can.
Yeah, come on, guys. Come on. Why don't we talk about Andrew? Why don't we talk about my opinion on Andrew Jack?
Oh, don't get him started.
I'd be interested to hear what you think about my opinions on Andrew Jack, because I've been getting a lot of hate for that last few weeks, but I stand by what I say.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, Bettiona, Dan William is massive. He is. His side chest is incredible, but he was crunchy. Thing is, that's his best shot, and he was crunching right down. He was like hiding away. It's like, if you've got a good shot, open up, you know, lift the chest up.
He had potential. He really did. He came close to getting 5th place, in my opinion. But
William Martins did. Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah.
that midsection though.
I would have had William Martins or Mohammed Enam in the second call out. Fighting for 5th over Milan Sadek, to be honest. But Milan Sadek's got really nice balance. He's not really missing anything, but I suppose overall he had the least flaws, compared to William Martins, who's got a weak back, and Mohammed Enam, who had very, kind of poor conditioning.
I almost didn't recognize Mohammed Enam. He looked totally different from the way I normally see him. It was such a change for him.
Because he's put a lot of size on this year. Because after he had a car crash last year, he's actually managed to put a lot of size on. He did Italy a few weeks ago, and he looked great, but he was off. But he was huge, but he was balanced and huge. He just needed like another 3 or 4 weeks to really bring it in.
Max, what's the classification for William? What place did he fall in? Good question. We don't have that information yet, but
not until we have the score sheet.
Right, the score sheet will probably be out on Monday.
Yeah,
maybe Tuesday, because Monday in the US is
no. Oh, hang on, it's Sunday today, isn't it? Yeah, they'll be out. They'll probably out tomorrow morning on Instagram.
Tomorrow's a holiday though in the US, so it might be Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
But it may go out tomorrow. But again, because tomorrow's a holiday in the US,
Yeah. James really blew it out the water. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Look good. It was
Well, let's take a look at James winning the Tsunami Pro. It's right on the screen right now.
Was Mohammed in the first? Why isn't Mohammed Enam in this second call out? Because I don't remember seeing him in the first call out.
He did.
Where is he? He wasn't in the first call out, because I was shocked when he didn't come out. Hang on, I've got.
He wasn't in the second call out?
Hang on, this call out that call out you just showed me was the second call out. That was where Mohammed Enam was not in that call out, but I've got it written down here. Mark, James, Vlad, and Enrico was first call out, but the second call out, Enam, Martins, Turek, Sadek, and Kujalar. But it must have been another call out then.
Or he was out of the shot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, with the camera angles. Yeah. So maybe he was on the far right or something, on the far left or something.
But when I did see him, even though he wasn't in the shot, when I did see him earlier, he totally different. He looks so different from the way I saw him in the last show.
Yeah. Enrico Hoffman really surprised me too. Yeah, big time. Vlad and Enrico were the big surprise of the show for me.
Absolutely.
I mean, they stood out in that first call out because they were just peaked beautifully. They had a great condition, great size, great thickness, and yeah, definitely. So in terms of muscle detail, I mean, they blew James and Mark out of the water in terms of muscle detail and density and conditioning. Just that James was just so huge, and Mark just had a really, really good shape.
Mike Cox, tell this job it's a holiday. Okay, sure. Monday. Well, some people are not closed on Monday. We aren't, for example. But a lot of companies do close down for Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, whichever day you prefer.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yes.
James had a Branch Warren look to him. I think that Enrico Hoffman had a Branch Warren look to him. If you look at the video and look at him closely, James, I don't know who to liken him to really, because he's just. I mean, I like his hands on hip, most muscular. Because like I said, he's got very, very impressive shoulders, traps.
Would you like to see James again?
Yeah, bring James up again, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right, here is James Hollingshead coming up. I love his posing style. He has such a great posing style. And that song was absolutely phenomenal. I love that song.
I wasn't feeling the posing from either him or Mark, to be honest.
Picky.
I think Mark's posing was disappointed as well. So I know they cut his music or something, but I'm very, very disappointed with the overall standard of posing in this industry, to be honest. I mean, Enrico kind of put a bit of effort in, so did Vlad, but choreographed something. But I mean, the overall standard of posing today is rubbish.
Well, I'm putting myself on the screen when I say this to you, but picky.
No, it's stunned by it. It's, I mean, I grew up on like the 90s, the 80s and 90s.
The golden era, yes.
The Iron Man and the Arnolds. I mean, go back and watch those on YouTube, guys. You'll see what I'm going on about. Go watch Lee Labrada 1991 Olympia. I mean,
Serge Nubret, go back even farther.
Yeah, searching your brain, but compare it to like the posing routines of today, and you'll just be in shock.
For your Bob Paris.
Yeah. Bob Paris, incredible poser. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
but I gotta say, I agree to disagree, my friend. But I really did like James's posing style here. He just invoked something in me. I felt it, and it was It was really well done.
Okay.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It was like a kind of standard posing routine, but for me, it was nothing special.
Okay. I wouldn't say it would be the best. I mean, in my opinion, the best poser.
Are you backtracking now?
No. I didn't say it was the best of all time. I didn't say it was the best of the year. I mean, or the best in bodybuilding. I said it was the best for James Hollingshead in the show. But if you want me to pick the best poser currently at this time, in my opinion, I give that to Terrence Ruffin, hands down.
Oh well, that's the standard that pretty much all the guys posed to, like in the 90s and the 80s, 90s. He would have just been a good poser 30 years ago, but now he stands out as something completely just mesmerizing because, he's actually putting the effort in, So, but the guys nowadays, they don't. And I can almost predict. Do you know what? How I gauge a bad posing routine is I could watch it live, and I could tell you exactly what pose they're going to hit next because I can tell. But I like to see transitions. I like to see poses other than the compulsory poses. And that's pretty much what the guys do nowadays. They just come on, hit the compulsories, hit a couple of most musculars, and stroll off.
Right.
That's what they call the posing routine. There is no like artistic transitions, or there's no floor poses. I mean, I didn't see a single guy do a floor pose in this event.
You're right.
Think that's
You're right.
I mean, Lee Haney used to do floor poses. I just think it's just, there we are. Look, see, walks up and down. Ear to the hand, most muscular, walks the other side, most muscular, walks off.
He's going to be mad at you for saying that.
It's true. Come on. I mean.
We speak the truth.
So, yeah, exactly. Mike Cox, when Melvin Anthony and Darren Charles came out, you sat up in your seat. Yeah. Exactly. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
They were some posers, absolutely.
And it probably died out with those guys, actually, because I don't think I've seen anything that special since,
In terms of open bodybuilding posers, I think William Bonac is a really good poser. Yeah. He does a really great posing routine. The Boston one was, I see it. Hold on.
William Bonac. Yeah, she puts a posing routine together. Fair play.
Let's put that back on the screen. Go ahead, show it.
What? Oh, the Bonac.
Yeah. There we go.
William.
That's great.
So I've got the full set here. I've got Bumstead, Brandon Curry, Dorian, Wesley Vissers, Rowley.
Wow.
I've got our friend Luke Sandoe.
Nice. Aw, rest in peace, Luke.
Yeah.
We miss you.
Yeah, May 7th, 2019. That was. I remember the day very, very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we missed.
I only spoke to him on the Tuesday before it happened. I only spoke to him a few days before.
I remember you telling me. Yeah. That was a real hard day for us all.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Somebody's just pointed something out that's completely obvious. And it's Samson Dowder, fantastic poser.
Yes. Good point. See, we were both caught off guard for that.
Yeah. So I should have. Yeah, I think it's because he's posing. There's someone that is putting effort into a posing routine and actually putting feeling and then some artistic kind of flair into it, and just actually putting. I mean, some of these guys, I don't think they actually practice routine. They put the music on and they just go on and they just wing it, But they just hit the compulsory. For me, that's boring. I don't like that because, like I said, if you were a new fan to the sport, you wouldn't know any different. But like Mike Cox is saying, like the 80s and 90s, go watch those old Olympia videos, and I tell you what, then you'll be shocked by what you see. I 100% guarantee it.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of Legion Fest, that show should be on right now. So if you don't have the pay-per-view, go buy it right now. The link is in the description, and you're in for a treat today with the show. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Shout out to Chris Minnis at Legion Sports Fest Center Podium. Can't wait to do the coverage on this.
Oh, sorry. Somebody's saying that it was 2020 for Luke. Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
20.
No, but I remember the day. It was Flex Lewis that rang me, and I was driving back to set the studio up to interview Dennis James, and I had to ring Dennis James and tell him that I couldn't do it.
Now Luke's going to haunt
So,
you for that. You know that.
yeah, it was May 7th, 2020. Yeah, I remember. Sorry, May 9th, 2020. Sorry, May 7th. Sorry, what am I talking about? May 7th, 2020, yeah.
It was a hard day. That was one of the hardest days for us all at MD.
Yeah, it was very, very surreal day. That was very, and the impact on the industry was, I did, you know, because Luke was so well loved, you know.
Yes, yes.
So, okay. Samson says, yes, Samson is becoming the 2022 version of Melvin Anthony. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep. Good point.
Melvin, thing is, I mean, Samson's good, but Melvin was another level.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Samson could get to that level, but I mean, Melvin was something else. You have to go back and watch.
I think Samson
some of those.
is really. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize, but I don't. I think Samson is really going to surprise us at the Olympia for what he has in store.
He'll be first call out.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So, to go back, Jamie Christian is competing in Legion today. Now,
yes,
he was originally down to do this show, but he's now going to the Legion and he's going to be competing. He's going to be walking on stage any minute now. And again, Krizo did turn pro yesterday, but he is waiting until the EVLS Prague show to make his pro debut.
Right.
So I'll be out there so you can listen to the live stream and hear my opinion. Because I want to see this guy in the flesh. I've not seen him in the flesh yet. And I spoke to Milos. And Milos and Jay Cutler both said, look, he is a guy you need to see physically front on, in the flesh. You got to see him in face to face, and they said he's very impressive rather than pictures and poor quality, sort of video and stuff like that. So,
yes.
So
totally agree.
So yeah, Jen, Kai Green. Kai Green's retired. He's done years ago. Yeah, Kai Green was a good poser, very good poser. I mean, I think
Arnold one he did, that 2016 Arnold pose. Oh yeah,
that was amazing. But I like the dancing stuff is cool, but I like the actual, like Melvin Anthony could dance, but he could also pose really well. Actual posing,
yes,
not dancing and entertaining.
Yes,
he was incredible. But Kai was a good poser as well. Very, very competent, very creative, and I think it's sorely missing in the industry today.
And the posing that I also like today is Urs Kalsinski Classic. He's a joy to watch. I love watching him on the screen. He cracks me up with what he does, and he's just so fluid. He combines the artistic element of the posing, and then he throws a little fun in there. He does the breakdancing. He does something cute and unique.
But why do you think classic is growing in popularity so much? I'm telling you, one of the reasons is because the guys put more effort into their posing.
I think so.
They put better, they present their physiques better, they're more entertaining, they put more effort in, and of course that is going to reflect in how the fans react. So
yes, but you know what? I think we should cut it short because soon Team B, which also includes me as well, is going to be getting ready for the Legion Sports Festival coverage.
Yep, I need food.
And Giles has to eat, yes. So I think we're going to wrap it up here, but keep yourselves tuned to MD because we're coming up with the coverage of the Legion Sports Fest, and you don't want to miss a beat of that. So I'd like to thank you all in chat for coming by today. We all had a great time. Giles, thank you for your time today. It was a pleasure as always. And members, catch me and Giles next Tuesday on the live stream with a very special guest. So if you're not a member, you need to join right now. This is for MD Global Muscle Insiders only, and we're gonna have some fun.
I'm gonna confess to all sorts of terrible secrets from my past.
And you can only get it if you're a member.
Juicy detail, all the stuff I know about people, it's all going to come out. So better join up so you can hear about all the juicy. Yeah, they'll probably get me kicked out of the industry, but let's do it anyway.
Sounds like a plan. All right. So from the two of us, we hope you have a fantastic day. Catch us later on today. We're coming back with the Legion Sports Fest. Have a great day, guys. Take care.
Thanks.
Stand by cutting it now.